Alright, hello guys, welcome back to another Total Rome 2 replay with the brand new Black Sea Colonies factions. Today we were looking at a battle between my opponent playing as Egypt and me playing as Pergamon. Now before you notice our interesting army compositions, my plan with Pergamon was, well, most of my killing power is going to lay in my awesome shot calves. That's basically what I did. I tried to make my build around having a let me go through my numbers real quick. I brought five, my bad, standard hoplites, one agama spear, or agema spear, as I think the units say it, 4 picked peltast, 2 Hippeus lancers, and 1 Pergamonese noble cavalry, and I have a noble cavalry and a Hippeus lancer on each flank. Now my opponent, he brought 2 Egyptian cav, 5 Royal Thorax Swordsmen, 2 Nubian Bowmen, who are actually not that bad of units now. They have 150 range. I'm sorry, was that, yeah, it is 5 Royal Thorax Swordsmen. And then 2 Hellenic Royal Guard. Now, initially something might be like, some people who are still newer to the game who aren't as good might say, well, crap, you just can't win this. You're boxed in, there's no way you can do it. Because if you're thinking that, you're right. Right from the outside, if I sent my army in, I probably wouldn't be able to break through. However, one thing I always say with boxes like this, there's always a hole. Somewhere there's a hole. And basically, when you do something like that, where you can make the hole, where you can get into any of the holes, they panic. They'll break up the box. They'll mainly do it, they'll break up like one of the edges, like maybe move these pikes. Or these units in the back. And once you make another hole in the box, move another unit in. Moving that, he has to move something else, so he's going to lose that flank, so he has to move another one. Basically, you just make the box implode on itself. Now, basically, he just made me chase around these Egyptian cav, which made me really upset. Really, the fact that I had to do it. Because they weren't going to do anything, because eventually he actually does charge into my units, and my peltast are the ones that take them out. I think I sent one of my hoplites in to also fight, and I think my Hippeus lancers get in there too. Where eventually I just decided, you know what, I'm done with this. I believe I just sent out of my Hippeus lancer my Pergamonese noble cavalry around to take it. And this is what I want him to do. I want him to do this. I'm just going to keep moving my cav around, waiting for the precise moment where I know I will be able to move quicker than his men will, and before he can plug a hole and make my opportunity. Now, right now, would not be a very good idea. Because obviously, as these 2 Hellenic Royal, that Hellenic Royal Guard could shift right in position. And as you can see, he keeps reacting to what I'm doing. However, I start getting really mad about these Egyptian cav running around. I think eventually I just give up on. I just have one of them my unit chase and I send the other one around. Basically, I decided that, alright, I know he's not going to plug the whole thing. Because he's choosing not to spread his pike formation out as much. I don't really agree with that, because maybe having 1 row of extra pikes maybe would be a good idea. But definitely not 2 or 3 extra rows. Because at that point, now you just have damage that could be spread out over a larger area. Now, I spread him out because I know he cannot cover both areas at once. He just can't. Now I'm mostly just waiting for my army to get up here because I know that once I get my army engaged, that's when the holes are really going to present themselves. What does he pop right there? And see when I was playing. Pipe Phalanx and Shield Wall. He's probably expecting at some point I'm going to charge into there. However, I'm not going to do that, at least not from the front. So I basically let my Hippeus Lancer and my Pergamonese Noble Cavalry the rest a bit. Because I need to be as quick as possible for when I do this. But as you can see, brings his Egyptian Cavalry around. I actually managed to catch and rout one of the others. And my Agema Spears do get a couple kills. And some of them are facing the wrong way. Hurry, I just throw my Pick Peltast on the melee. Pick Peltast have pretty good stats. So I'm going to get in the back of my hoplites, which are not very happy. And I actually only think I lose one picked peltast for taking out that Egyptian cav. Yeah, so now his Egyptian cav's gone. My shot cav is just waiting for the right time. And now that those Egyptian cav are gone, I can bring two of my other shot cav around to really cause some damage. I reform real quick right before I get ready for my final push. However, he did exhaust one of my hippiest lancers because I had to chase around the stupid cav. Yeah, this one's also pretty exhausted. And I guess that can be a pretty legitimate thing. You can do it with like really, really low quality cav. However, I don't think it was worth it in the end. Now, here's what I wanted. This was the moment I was waiting for. I started moving around, and the second I noticed that when I started moving this way, he was not moving his formation to block up this hole, that is the time, because basically you just keep moving back and forth. Keep moving back and forth if you're trying to do something like this. Because eventually they will mess up. It's going to be impossible for them to cover all the holes. And once you see the opportunity where they're going, where they haven't moved yet, then you just dive straight in. And that is what I do. I obviously take a very high risk with this, however, I do know that's going to be best for it. If he just catch a couple of them, however, the damage is done. I actually get one of his Nubian bowmen that he ran in there, which is actually a horrible idea. Because it means I also got back charge into some of his thorax swordsmen. My Pergamonese noble cavalry really causing some damage. I'm bringing down some of my other shot cav. I go to catch his other Nubian bowman. And he actually turns his pikes around, so I was going to chase him over, I decided to pull all the way out, because I did the damage I needed to do. I broke up the box. And now that I'm bringing around more of my cavalry, the pike box is, well, it's not a pike box. His box is gone. He can't help it, fix it, it's just gone. And again, as you can see, he has this Hellenic Royal Guard waiting. My Hoplites engaged, some of my other Hoplites actually pick on this remnants of this Nubian bowman. However, since I have a bigger line than him, I'm actually able to go around and send him around the support. He's not blocking the back of this Hellenic Royal Guard, so you know what? I charge in. Bowl this Hellenic Royal Guard right over. I really don't get that many kills, and he gets this other one ready. However, looky. My other shot cavalry are coming around from the back. Because now look, now this part of the Hellenic Royal Guard is not blocking its back anymore. However, I ultimately do choose to go in for his Royal Thorax Swordsman. And my picked peltasts are throwing their javelins, and they're getting a good amount of kills. I did just quick reload because what I really want to do is I want to punch a hole through this Royal Thorax Swordsman line. And I do start coming through, and as you see, this one is starting to lose them. They're starting to waver. This Royal Thorax Swordsman is starting to lose. I have a Hoplite unit coming to help pin down these pikes. Because pikes, when they break up to this, are almost useless at that point. Because now the big wall, which is why they're so good, is just broken up. As you can see, I was not very worried about charging right in the side of that. Because I know I'm still going to get a very good charge. I leave these shot cavalry here to take care of that Royal Thorax Swordsman. This unit of Hoplites, now it's free to take out this Royal Thorax Swordsman. I have no clue what these guys are doing. One of my Hoplite units is getting damaged pretty bad. However, he actually turns his back to them, which you almost never want to do. Turn your back to whatever unit's on the main line unless you really, really need to. Now I tell my picked peltasts to start firing this one, since a good amount of them are actually be able to fire into their back. Just everything's going down for him. The Hellenic Royal Guard's slowly pushing up. However, as you can see, now that I notice that he's turned around, and that these pikemen were starting to turn around to me, I turn around my Hoplites and I charge right in his back. He just kept a couple of my hippiest lancers, charging back at these Royal Thorax Swordsmen. And basically now I'm just finishing up my work. When the battle's sealed, this was a pretty fun match to play. It wasn't a horrible one. I think my opponent actually probably could won. However, you know what? No, I don't think he could. Because I could just use my picked peltasts to take out his Nubian bowman. I would have been able to punch at least one hole, like maybe with it. Probably his pikeman. Just goes to show you that sometimes elite infantry spam, doesn't always benefit you out in the end. sometimes if you just can find, or boxing up at all, because you can get inside the box, it's pretty much done for. Then I send one of my picked peltasts to continue to get kills even after running out of ammo. Just because of how good units they are, and at this point I'm just making them fight someone so that I win. Pretty good match for my opponent. He actually made some pretty good decisions. I think if he had a better army composition with more lower tier units, that he actually had a pretty good strategy going. Although I don't really like boxing. Historically in a battlefield, you're not going to tell someone, well, don't pike box. I feel like if someone does it, you need to learn how to adapt. Because not everyone's going to fight the way you want them to. And that's why I like doing this, because there's no set rules. Yeah, there's meta with like builds, but the actual tactics you see on the battlefield can be very different. Now, Pergamon, in my opinion, is probably going to be probably the best of the new factions, and I'd definitely say they're a pretty good faction. I know some people say, well, they're not that good. I disagree. I think they're pretty good factions. They have pikes, some okay damaging sword infantry, obviously escalation swords, awesome skirmishers, well, picked peltasts in particular, awesome shot cav, I think they're a pretty good faction overall. But again, that's just my opinion, alright? Okay, it's just the heat waves going off. I thought the bird was still shaking. Probably has to put that much stupid detail into the crow. They even gave it eyes. And I can't zoom in. Well, that was a big waste of time at the end there. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys later. Peace!